knew what was in the past. You might pray that it doesn't. They say history repeats itself, but if you really... Because what you learned in school, that was the sugar-coated version. What you're about to hear is the raw truth. These are the disturbing historical facts they never wanted you to know, the ones buried, erased, and quietly forgotten. Stay with me until the end, because Factor 6 will make you question everything you thought was true about civilized history. Number 1, the Pope and the dead body. In 897 AD, the Catholic Church held one of the most horrifying trials in history. It was called the Cadaver Synod, and it wasn't just symbolic. Pope Stephen VI had his dead rival, Pope Formosus, dug up from the grave. The corpse was dressed in sacred robes and literally propped up on a throne to stand trial. His decomposing body was accused of crimes, found guilty, and his fingers, the ones he used to bless, were chopped off. Then they threw him into the river. Let that sink in. The leader of the church put a corpse on trial. And it wasn't even the strangest part of church history. Ubuntu, Unit 731, Japan's human laboratory. Everyone's heard of the Nazis, but almost no one talks about Unit 731, Japan's secret biological warfare unit during World War II. Thousands of men, women, and children were used for live experimentation. No anesthesia, no humanity. They were infected with bubonic plague, frozen to death, their organs removed while still breathing. And when the war ended, instead of prison, the doctors behind it were granted immunity in exchange for their research. This isn't fiction. It's one of the darkest secrets swept under the rug by world powers. 3. Royal bloodthirst, the truth about corpse medicine. Ever wonder how far royalty would go to stay alive? In the 16th and 17th centuries, European elites consumed what was known as corpse medicine. Yes, they literally drank human blood, ate powdered skulls, and believed it gave them health and strength. Even King Charles II sipped on what was called the King's Drops, made from crushed human skulls mixed with alcohol. To them, the poor were not just expendable, they were medicinal. In Darfur, the town America nuked for fun, in 1951, the United States created a fake American suburb, complete with homes, furniture, and mannequins dressed like happy families. They called it Survival Town. Then they dropped an atomic bomb on it. The entire experiment was to see how nuclear war would obliterate daily American life. After the blast, melted mannequins lay scattered in radioactive dust. The photos exist, eerily silent snapshots of a smiling fake family frozen in their last moment before annihilation. 5. Animals put on trial. It sounds absurd, but in medieval Europe, animals were held legally responsible for their actions. Pigs were tried for murder, rats were prosecuted for property damage. In one documented case, a pig was dressed in human clothing, found guilty of killing a child, and publicly executed. These weren't jokes. They were treated with full legal process, sometimes with lawyers, judges, and witnesses. A pig could face the death penalty. 6. The exploding corpse of a king. When King William the Conqueror died in 1087, his corpse was already rotting. By the time they tried to bury him, it was badly bloated and didn't fit in the tomb. As the monks forced his body inside, his abdomen burst open. The entire church filled with the stench of decay and human remains. Mourners fled. This was the burial of a king, and it ended in a horrific mess of exploding guts. 7. Ancient brain surgery. Long before modern hospitals, ancient people performed brain surgery. It's called trepanation, drilling a hole into the skull while the person is still alive. They believed it could release evil spirits, cure mental illness, or relieve pressure. And shockingly, some people survived. There's archaeological evidence of skulls that healed post-surgery thousands of years ago. Sometimes ancient medicine worked better than what came centuries later. History isn't clean. It's full of corpses on trial, kings who exploded, and governments that played with bombs like toys. And if you think these were just isolated stories, you're wrong. The more you dig, the darker it gets. So here's the question. What else have they never told us? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which of these facts chilled you the most? And if you want more disturbing truths, the kind they never put in textbooks, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the past isn't dead, it's just buried.